Good morning, good morning, good morning. Welcome to this Phoenix Fitness Fanatics April cover spotlight with Dr. Joy Brown. I'm gonna go ahead and bring her on in. This is our woman who is really living her life like she is golden. It is golden. Come on in, Dr. Joy. Come on and boogie with me now.
All right, good morning.
Good morning, good morning. Yeah, let's put it in the car. Where we going?
All right, we going somewhere. We going to the next level. Yes, we going to living our best life. We living life like it's golden.
Yes. Thank you so much for joining me this morning, Dr. Joy. Ooh, I have been waiting for this interview. Ooh. So, everybody, let me tell you just a little bit of how Joy and I, connected. We actually were speakers on the Leadership Experience Tour. I was able to hear her wonderful story of actually a few wonderful stories about Dr. Joy. And I'm just going to go ahead and let Joy introduce herself. So, Joy, is Dr. Joy Brown.
All right. Well, I say I am the career strategist, life coach, and empowerment speaker, and an international best-selling author and an entrepreneur. I wear many hats. But the one thing is I'm about educating, equipping, and empowering people to live the life that they've always dreamed and imagined. I am one that have grown up in a profession. I'm an HR director. I got my dream job. I could tell you about that story, but it's always about the people. And so I am one that I always say my mother named me well. I have joy and I want to give it out, share it with anybody who wants to listen. So it is truly a privilege and honor to be with you this morning.
Oh, thank you. You are such a light. I tell you. So you mentioned you're an author. So let's talk about the book real quick.
Oh, yes. So if someone would have told me about 3 years ago, would I have an author under my title? I would have said no, but let me tell you how it started. So I was counting down to my 40th birthday. And so what I wanted to do was each day I wanted to post something positive or just like a reflection on climbing up to my 40th birthday. So after I did that, people would comment and I told myself, wow, this was really good. I could actually see myself doing this one day. That's what I said. Well, then I had a mentor, and I always say there are mentors and coaches who blessed my life. So I had a mentor who said, "Hey, Joy, I'm about to join this anthology. Would you be interested in joining it?" I said, "Sure, let me know about it." She had already written plenty of books and everything. So I joined this project with her. And that first book was called Silhouettes of Authentic Coaches for Mind, Body, and Soul. So it was a group of women and men just coming together, figuring out what they wanted to talk about as we were coaches. And so for me, I talked about my transformation of weight loss. I've always been, loving to work out, having fun. And so I talked about the transformation because I went through a transformation of weight loss and believing in self-care. And I still do it today. So I can't wear all these hats if I don't have self-care and joy at the top of the list. So I'm definitely a promoter. So in that first book, I talked about the transformation, giving tips and strategies on how to transform your mind as well as your body.
Awesome. Now tell us a little bit about your weight loss journey, because I know when you and I met, we connected on that level. So tell the audience a little bit about that journey because it's a hell of a transformation,
It is
girl.
a transformation. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. And so again, I always, growing up, always been active. I was a color guard squad captain, always loved dancing. So I've always been in fitness or done something. I used to go to Zumba classes and everything of that nature. And so the reason why I became a Zumba instructor is because I love to dance. And so my first thing is figuring out your why. And for me, if I'm going to work out, I want to do something that's fun. So that was one of the tips. If you're going to work out, don't make it like, oh my God, I got to go to the gym today. You're going to
Right.
stop doing it. Because to me, living healthy and being healthy, it's a lifetime. It's a lifestyle. It's not like a one time, I'm going to do this for 30 days and I'm going to stop and go back. No, it's an everyday regimen. And so on this journey, again, I've done Weight Watchers before, got all the weight off, did well. And then my sister joined a personal trainer and I went to him. And I was at that point committed that it wasn't going back. I mean, I gave old clothes away. So that's another tip. If you know you're not going to go back, please give away your old clothes. Don't keep the clothes. Be like, well, no. Give them away. get them out of your house. So that was one of the things I did. So once I gave away, and the difference with this one, my mindset was different. And I think that's important, to be really committed and say, no matter what, I'm not going back, and figuring out your regimen as we talk about some of those strategies. So being in a supportive environment, having accountability. So what was key with this one is just like Weight Watchers and those programs is there's accountability. You have to have accountability. Tiffany, you know that you have to have. So every week we weighed in. Every week you figured out what you did. And then the thing is, don't beat yourself up if you have a bad day or a bad week. We all do. It's life. It's life. You say, okay, well, this week, let's readjust for next week. Let's brush it off, and we're going to get back on the grind. And so those are some of the things that I shared within the book, picking stuff that's fun, having accountability, trying new things, and having that support system, because that's also key as well.
Yeah, definitely. And you're so right. You got to keep it fun. I tell my clients all the time, like, if it feels like work, like, y'all ain't gonna come back. Like, we're gonna have fun. We're gonna clown around. We're gonna make things fun. We're gonna dance and laugh and do all those things, because you really just have to, you know? And that accountability is really key, having someone, to be able to kind of just push you on through. And like when you said, like, you got to weigh in, like, yeah, you weighing in, people looking like, okay. And they're waiting to see you fail, So it's key. That is so key, to have that. So what is the inspiration behind your business, behind 3EEE?
Yeah, so that's a great question. The inspiration behind the 3EE stands for educate, equip, and empower. Again, as I look at my life, I am big on education, anything from info session. I'm about sharing information. And so the education to me is the knowledge that I'm pouring into people, whether it's through coaching and mentor, or even an info session. Then after you're educated with the knowledge, then I want to equip you with the strategies of what to do. It's great to have knowledge, have a plan, but then how do you work that plan? See, that's where that coaching, mentoring, those action steps to make it do it. Then once you have that, then you're empowered to do. Then you're empowered to go forward. So I'm big on vision boards and writing them down, because I believe you got to write the vision to make it plain. So it's like, after you know what you want to do in life, that's that identifying that vision. Then you figure out, how do I make that dream a reality? Then it's time to work that plan. As we always say in business, my businesses will not get worked if I don't work them. And so everything I do, my coaching, my conversation and workshops, is all a part of my 3EE consulting. I have another business, which is Sensational Perfume Chick, which I say I'm gonna make you smell good, look good, and feel good. It's all about what? The empowerment. So both businesses align to who I am. And it is something about when I tell people, when you put on the shea butter, you just be like, you smell good, then you look good, then you feel good. That's that motivation. You feel good. Then your walk is different. Your talk is different. You are coming in the room and your presence is known, but you're not even saying something. So it's all about how you present yourself and making sure that, again, you're living your best life, whatever circumstance it is, but it starts within. And so I'm really big on tapping into potential for greatness within people.
Awesome. I love that. I love it, love it, love it. So our April edition focuses on detoxing the mind, body, and spirit, and it's all in alignment, right? So what are some things that Dr. Joy does to detox the mind, body, and spirit?
Oh, that's a great. I thought the April edition was a great topic. So one of the things that I definitely, as we talk about springtime is here and detox is, sometimes you have to do an inventory of your life, and sometimes you have to detox from people and things that you no longer want to carry into your next season. So I'm big on doing that self-reflection. So I think that's also important to you reevaluate. Again, my birthday is on Friday, so I'm now climbing down to my end of this chapter, going to do. So in this week, I am being very mindful of looking back of the last year, but I'm very intentional about what I want to take into the next chapter. So I think that's important sometimes to do that self-reflection. But I think also with that detox is about self-care. I am big on self-care. So every morning I start off with, my meditation, my prayer that gets me centered. After I do that, then I go into my self-care moment, walking. I love walking outside now that it's springtime, about to be summer. Honey, that's when I get the chance to talk and listen, and you can listen to motivation, or you just hear from God. So that is very important to me. So I can't do all of these things I'm doing without being centered, without filling me up mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. And so I think that's definitely important that I've incorporated in my life. That self-care, everybody know between this time and this time. If you like early morning, I'm your girl because I like early morning workouts and everything. And that just gets me focused. That gets me energized and stuff like that. So those are just a couple of things that I do, to help with self-care, to detox. I'm all about, trying new things and different recipes and sharing. So that's also great to try new things. You don't want to get, especially with cooking, especially if you have a
let it get
family.
boring.
Yes, you got to spice it up and share. And there's a lot of great things that you could cook that's really healthy. And so this is the time now to splurge and try new things. So I'm all about that. So I think it's just important that for detoxing, especially as this springtime, as we spring forward in life and we spring forward to new things, that we take a pause and do some self-reflection about, okay, what's working, what's not, what do I now want to do as I'm getting into springtime and everything for my next season.
Right. Yes. And I caught something that you said there, having to release some of the people in your life, and I think as you start to build businesses, things like that, you do tend to see. So we were talking backstage before we started. You tend to see certain, personalities, certain things come out. So, sometimes those people are just the ones that come in that season. You got to just release them, let them go, because once you let them go, you're going to have some magnificent other people that are going to come in your life that are going to really pour into you even more. So I love that you just, you take that time, for you pour into yourself, and you keep your cup overflowing so you can definitely serve. And I just love that, Dr. Joy. I love it. So what are some of the other things that you do, for self-care? You say you exercise, you get out in nature. What are some of the things that you do for detoxing, like your business?
Oh, that's great. I think detoxing your business is so important. Again, just looking at kind of sitting down your goals and strategies of what you want to do. And so again, looking back, how have you done? Are there areas that you want to improve on, or just it may not be areas of improvement, new topics, new areas that you want to go to, business expansion. One of the things is I do pop-ups, with my shea butter. And so I am believing that God put something in me. He said, okay, soon you'll be able to take, our shea butter coming on the road. So God put that in me. So that still is something that I want to do. And I'm always participating in other events, but there's a desire for me to host my own. So when you talk about detoxing, it's looking at, okay, what's been going well? Where are there opportunities for you to really tap into, to really take it to that next level? And so, and really putting a plan in place with that. So I think about being a business person, you want to be smart about your goals. You want to make sure everything is in alignment. So if I do this, I already want to know who I can partner with, who I can get those vendors who want to participate, what location and everything. And so doing the legwork. So I think that's also important, just not only in his life, but definitely in business. Like a business is not something where if you have a business plan, it's not like that business plan is a living, breathing document. And you probably need to look at least quarterly, to make sure, how are we doing? Are we still on target? Do we need to make any course corrections and everything? So I think that is so, so important.
Like do a SWOT analysis, right?
Do a SWOT analysis,
quarterly, right?
Do a SWOT analysis. And then think about there's other opportunity where you can do, again, partnerships, connections. Pastor today preached on the power of connection. And so, and so I just appreciate, this opportunity that I'll be able to put all my business in my shea butter, my things of that nature, because again, that's going to expand just the awareness about my company is out there. So I think those are opportunities that if you just be intentional about this month, I really want to focus on new partnerships, new connection. Who can I talk to say, hey, I have this business. Can I put an ad in there? Can I do this? So what I'm doing on my business, I'm also trying to apply that at work, branding. We have all these positions and I'm trying to brand the organization. So it's not great to have positions that people don't know about.
Right. That's right.
So we got to brand. We got to elevate the awareness. And so we got to do that through multiple ways. And so when you talk about having your business, being able to apply those same skill sets that you're doing in your business to your job, that's how you make the connection.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, you gotta, they say what your network is your net worth, right? I really feel that is so true. You never know who's going to be in the room. And when you're networking with people, you never know who they know.
Right.
Who they're going to share that information with. You have a product out there, you give it to someone, they're like, hey, they may know someone at a corporation that really needs that. And that's going to be the thing that's going to just skyrocket your business, so That is very, very important. Yes. So what's coming up next for Dr. Joy?
Well, what's coming up next is, again, I will be launching again some career workshops. Again, I have under 3E Consulting, in addition to coaching, conversation, and workshop. I want to be able to help people be prepared and positioned for their next opportunity. And so I'll be launching some career workshops. I'm doing some stuff with a couple of other connections that I've contacted with the University of Maryland. That's one of my alums. I'm doing some workshops there. I'm doing some workshops with the leadership coaching group. And so again, a couple of weeks ago, I wouldn't have had these connections. But again, it's about, we said, connections, being in the right place at the right time, and able to be able to utilize your skill sets in order to reach wider audiences. So those are what's next. Again, I've been in a position now as the new director to do things, and I understand the legacy that I'm trying to build under who I am, that walking in those gifts. And so now I'm just trying to make moves that will help people be prepared and positioned for their next and everything in terms of careers, because I see it. And like you said, working for the federal government, we're about to revolutionary, again, with this whole remote work and just the new opportunity that's coming based on the pandemic. So we know the pandemic was for a reason, but what did you do in the pandemic? What opportunities? How did you pivot? And so I have really watched how we've been able to pivot not only in professional but also in businesses to seize this opportunities. And so I just want to make sure that I can be a vessel that is sharing the information that's aligning to my educate, equip, and empower the American people.
Yeah. So what do you think has been the most challenging in the journey of of building your business and things like that? What do you think is the biggest challenge?
I think the biggest challenge sometimes is the time management, because again, as an entrepreneur, I have a full-time job and then I have all my other business. So it's really the balance. And so I think for me, like I said, your business will not get worked if you don't work it. If you don't work. It's one of the things in COVID, before COVID, I had all these in-person events lined up. Well, then COVID happened. It's like, well, ain't nobody doing nothing in person. So products is in my house just sitting. Just products in the house just sitting. So what did I do? I launched my website. So that's when we talk about pivoting. And so even in the day-to-day, you have to have time. And that's what I'm learning to balance. Have to have time to work the other businesses. And it can happen. So it's like those small wins. What you can do today? If it's a repost, if it's reaching out to someone, hey, I'm having an upcoming special. Can I put this in your magazine? So I think to me, that is what's key. And that's what's going to talk about longevity. That right there is having the time to say, I need to have time just to brainstorm a plan, brainstorm somebody. Don't put it all together today. Because I say Rome was not built in a day, but just having some dedicated time to figure out where you are today. What do you want for the next couple of months that you want to do? So I think that's important in managing that time. So, but you can do it, but you got to make time for it. So block out your calendar. This is another tip. Block out your own calendar for yourself. And so have time for you to work that piece.
Right, and you got family at home and everything as well. So it's like you're having it's a huge balancing act.
Yes, it is.
For sure. So now, when it comes to like the family, do you schedule time for, like, how does that work? Because I know sometimes as you're building businesses, you run into challenges with that. We spoke about that a little bit too. How do you deal with, some of those challenges that kind of come up with, trying to balance like that work life kind of balance?
Oh, yeah. Oh, no, that's a real good question. I think for me, one of the things that I know is a cutoff. So again, because if you're like me, we're wearing multiple hats. You got your professional life, you got your business, and you may be involved in a sorority, a fraternity, community organization that still require your time. There's still commitment. Because you didn't get to this point by just doing one thing. That's no. We are great because we are in multiple things, giving impact into a lot of different organizations, but you still have to find that balance. So I know for me at this stage, and this is what I've learned, there's a cutoff. So I'm like, if meetings are this day, I'm like, okay, at whatever that time is, we cut it off. We shut down the computer and we step back. And then I keep to-do lists. So I think that's another thing, having that cutoff and having your to-do list. I have multiple lists. Sometimes I look at the list and today nothing got on the list done because of everything else but I keep my list and that keeps me focused. So if you're using your calendar is important. I tell people, if it's not on the calendar, it doesn't exist in my world. It has to be on my calendar. So to-do list, my calendar, and having that cutoff, because again, I want to have balance. And again, if you have that significant, even family time, schedule it on your calendar. Between this time, no more meetings, or we're going to have date night or family night, or we want to do something, put it on your calendar. Therefore, nothing, because that time is sacred. That time is sacred. You often hear the people who build businesses, they were so grounded in the business and they just missed, the little stuff that was so important to their family, to their kid. No.
Yeah.
So you have to schedule that time. You have to schedule, and it's going to take a team. I mean, it's going to take a mighty team, but I think if you try those three things, try that first, and then hopefully you can build a team that will help you able to uplift some of that stuff that you may need. But I would say start with that first.
Awesome. So who has been the most inspirational person for you through this journey?
Oh, that's a great question. I would say my family has been the most inspiration for me, because again, I grew up in a family that always instilled in me that I can do anything that I wanted to do. It was the I can mantra even when I was a child. And so through my life, they always exposed me to things that, hey, Ma, I wanted to do. Sure, they made it happen. Even when I raised my son, he wanted to do something. Okay, we're going to make that happen. And so it was that exposure, but they have always been in my corner. They have always believed anything. Hey, I got this idea, and always supported me. And so they are my biggest cheerleader, my always supporters. They all have the product because, again, they support me and stuff like that. So I would say my family, and also my good girlfriends and friends that have just seen me on the journey. And I think that's important. And so I could not do it without them, just their love and support, for always believing in me. Even when the other business may not work, they're like, okay, well, we're going to, figure that out and do something else. But they were always there. And so I think that's supportive. And I think that is supportive even in business. You got to have your network. You got to have your support system, because on this journey, it's going to get rough, especially as an entrepreneur. You're trying to launch stuff. You're going in territory that's new and different. You may not have, someone to talk to. Then if you do have people to talk to, maybe they're not so forthcoming, because you want to meet a lot of people. You're not going to meet people like me and Tiffany who are poor, and we're going to bless you, because I do believe God is not going to bless you if your hand is balled up. God blesses those who pour out. Right. As I pour out, God is pouring back into me. And so, again, having that understanding. But everybody you meet on this journey may be a little interesting. I'm going to say that. Okay. If you know what I'm talking about, that's another topic. But yes,
that's going to be another show. Okay, that's going to be
it's all about the journey. I mean, you're going to meet different people in your life. That's all about the journey. But my thing is, you just stay true to who you are, and let everybody else will just work itself out.
That's right. That's right. So we talked about, mindset. What has been one of the mindset books that has really been an inspiration to you?
Oh, great. So mindset book. So it's a couple of them. One, I did read this leadership book called Identity Leadership, and it was really about finding out your identity and leadership, understanding your why. And that book was really good because it just resonated to your why. Why do you want to lead? And knowing about yourself as a leader. And so that's definitely important, because I'm big on that why. Who you are, your gifts and talents and stuff like that. That's going to help you unlock this up and to your identity. So I think that was very good. But then also, like I said, every day I do my grateful journal. I have a grateful journal that I've been doing. And so that to me starts with, my mindset. My daily prayer has different prayers. Starts with your mindset. I am big on mindset, from empowerment cards that I just have, that sometimes I just pick up what card is today. And it's always that card that I need to hear. So, that's always how life works. That's God. It's always
that's God right there. It's always that message that he needs to have.
That message that I need to hear, right what I need to hear. And I'm big, like I said, I am big on post it all around me, positive energy and stuff like that. And so that is so important. Like, your mindset is key, because it really starts with your mind. Your mind starts with, I'm going to do it. And no matter what happens each day, it could be a new mindset. Each and every day, it's a choice. Today I'm gonna have a good day. Even if it starts off, kind of great. Today I'm gonna have a good day, and keep saying it. You keep saying it and speaking those things into existence. So to me, your mindset is very important. Positive energy, positive music, motivational stuff. So anything of that nature, that's what I do. Gospel music, just empowerment music. You have your theme song. I love how Timmy said, Joe, what's your song? Well, I said, Timmy, need an upbeat song. So, I always say, even when I turned 40, mine was living my best life. Because we say that, but I actually want to it's not that we say that. I want us to mean that and live that.
Yes,
Right.
yes.
Let's not say these cliches like, hey, we want to live life like it was golden and your life ain't golden. No,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
what I want. So I speak those things so they can come to pass. And so having your own theme song, I have several theme songs that motivate
Okay.
me. And so I think that's important on this journey. Have your, honey, you got to celebrate yourself.
That's right.
Another thing. You
Look,
got to celebrate
I walk
yourself.
past the mirror and celebrate myself.
Hey,
Look,
hey,
that was
so.
how I had to. That was one of the things I did in my journey. You know, it's like first it was hard. It was like I don't know what I don't want to talk. You know,
Right.
and then after a while, and I'm doing it. You know, because oh yeah, you sexy. Mm-hmm. You know, with just no confidence whatsoever. And about 60 days later, oh man, I'm
Yeah.
sashaying by that. By
Oh,
that
I know that's right.
sexy thing. You
Yes.
know.
Yes, and especially for women, I just think, just on my journey, I just want to be an inspiration to others. But I just want us to celebrate whatever size you are, how you look, celebrate yourself.
Comfortable in
Be
your skin.
confident. Love the skin that you were in. We always say, well, if we had this, we would do this. And that's fine. But celebrate who you are,
Yes.
and walk boldly in the queen that you are. Hold your
Right.
head up high, honey. Yes, yes, yes.
Okay. Okay. That's right. So tell us, what are your professional taglines?
So I have a couple of professional taglines. So my first professional tagline is the I can. Again, I talked to you about having this I can mantra. And it starts with that belief that I can do anything that you set your mind to, because that's where that mindset comes in. And so that's definitely important to me. The other tagline is I always talk about that there is power in what you speak. I do believe there is power in the words that you speak out of your mouth and what you let in. And so I always talk in a couple of my speeches is there's this mute button, on your remote control. That's very important. But the mute button has a function. And so sometimes in life on this journey, you need to get out your little lights remote and hit the mute button on people who tell you what you can't do, won't do, and the negativity. Mute it. I'm not going to let all of that come into my space, because that's not where I'm at. So even when they start down this road, no, mute. And so in life, in order for you to move to your next level and do things, you have to require this mute button in order to stay focused and not be distracted. Because there will be things that will come up, naysayers, and they could be your closest, whoever, family and friends. But you have to stay focused, and that's what being intentional of what you want and where you're trying to go. And so no one may be understanding your journey, because it's your journey to go to. But once you get there, then you can come back and tell them, oh, look at the journey. Look how far I've come. Look at what I've done. And I kept going in spite of everything that came to me. And that's going to be a powerful testimony that's going to help somebody.
That sure is. That sure is. That is so powerful. And you're right. I mean, you got to get out there. You got to tell your story. It's not your story. It is someone else's story. They need to hear it, because there's somebody out there dealing with the same exact thing that we've been dealing with, but we overcame it.
Yep.
And they're sitting there like, I don't know what to do. And they're curled up in a ball. They might be, to a point where they're about to do the most devastating thing ever, right? You tell your story, you let them know that they're not alone. And that's so, so powerful.
It is.
Yes. You got to get it out there. You have to.
Yes, definitely connect with a coach, a mentor, some sister girls, someone that you can know, because you're not alone. And that's what we would think, especially as women. We think, I'm the only one. I'm the only single mother raising a boy. I'm the only single mother raising a son. I'm not going to be able to accomplish my goals. The devil is a lie. I'm living proof. I am living proof. But like, how much time we got? I'm living proof. You can still accomplish everything that I wanted to do in life. Again, I was able to do it. Maybe not the time that I wanted to do it, but it still came
to pass. That's okay, because this is God's time.
A delay is not a denial. A delay is not a denial.
Yes.
And I'm telling you, if you stay true to you, who you are, and have your network and support to help you along this journey, you can make it. I am living proof you can make it.
You can do anything. You can do anything.
Yes.
Well, I'm going to bring up the link on how we can connect, learn more and connect with Dr. Joy Brown, and find out more about her offered products, her consulting. If you are ready to seriously level up, you need to go ahead and contact Joy. Now, Joy, just give us a special message, anything that you want to say to our audience before we close today.
All right. Well, I just want to say thank you so much, Tiffany, for being a part of this great magazine. Like you said, connections, connections. And so my advice with you, for you all, is that anything is still possible. I always say that goal, that aspiration, that dream, that vision that you have made had long time ago, it is still possible. And how it can be still possible? By writing it out, speaking those things as they are to exist, not as they are today. Sometimes we are only can see where we are today. We're not going to stay there. Each and every day is precious. Make sure that you're able to connect with a coach, a mentor, a support system, someone who can help you navigate what we call this life journey and everything that will help you move and to accomplish your goals and aspirations. Turn those things into fruition so they can become a reality. There are people who can tell you, if it happened for me, it can happen for you too. It is still possible. And again, make sure you are detoxing, establishing your goals, do that self-reflection, hit that mute button in life, but make sure you are connected with people as you continue to move along this journey who want you to win and see your greatness within inside of you. Thank you so much. Feel free to connect with me on social media at 3 followed by 3 E's Consulting. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Dr. Joy. All right, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us for our Phoenix Fitness Fanatics magazine April cover spotlight with Dr. Joy Brown. She's amazing, isn't she? Man, you are going to see us back with Dr. Joy because we have a few topics that we would like to bring to you next time. So have an amazing Sunday. Let's all say happy birthday, Dr. Joy. And we will see you next time. Take care.